Hi everyone, it's Kerchie. Is this another Polly Pocket repaint? Yes, it is. I didn't get lazy. I'm doing another one of these. I'm going to be repainting the highly requested Mermaid Cove. Here it is, pretty bland, nothing going on in there as usual, and we are going to pretty it up.
Mermaid Cove isn't looking very mermaidy to me. When I think mermaids, I think Ariel, happy under the sea show tunes, and vibrant colors. I'm going to use the Mermaid Adventure Storybook Polly Pocket as an inspiration because it was the first thing I thought of with this repaint. I especially love the glitter, so I'm going to be adding glitter at the end of my repaint. First, the coral. I'm taking inspiration right from the Mermaid Adventure Storybook. The neon coral was the first thing that stood out to me in that playset. Coral is naturally vibrant in nature, as we've all learned from science class and Finding Nemo. Good thing there are tons of coral in this compact, because I just know this is going to look so awesome when I'm done. I really want to feel like I'm under the water singing Under the Sea with Sebastian. Sebastian the lobster, not Sebastian the winter soldier, but if he wanted to join, I wouldn't complain. Then comes the seaweed. Fun fact, I hate painting plants because green is one of my least favorite colors. It also happens to be my husband's favorite color, and it's my job as a designer and an overly controlling person to make sure he doesn't go overboard with green decor around the house. But seaweed is a natural part of the ocean, and I don't want to disrespect nature, so here I am painting the slimy, salad-fingery seaweed. I don't know what these tubey things are called. I think they're literally called tube coral according to Google. I just know they're usually purple, so I'm making them lavender. I find regular coral pretty, but these tubey ones make me uncomfortable for some reason. Maybe it's the fact that they have big holes and they look like they're gonna eat me? Here's where the compact starts to come to life. There are little seashells all over the ocean floor, which I'm painting blue. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to paint the background because this boat was in the way, but luckily Mattel knew someone somewhere was going to repaint this compact, so they made this boat removable for my convenience. This is supposed to be a shipwreck, so I'm just using good old brown, and I'm purposely thinning out the paint to make it look murky and ruined. Why do underwater scenes always have to have a shipwreck? Can't we just enjoy the beauty of the ocean without thinking about death and drowning? I'm adding more details like the trunk of this palm tree, and some darker green to make the seaweed look more seaweedy. I really want to achieve a lot of movement with this repaint because everything in the ocean is in constant motion. I just realized that's why they call it motion of the ocean. At this point, I was getting a bit bothered by how much seaweed there are because I really don't like the color green. I debated making the palm tree pink and purple, but I wanted the colors to be truer to nature. Now the starfish are starting to come to life. I always think of that sassy starfish in Finding Nemo, and of course Patrick Star, one of the greatest cartoon characters of all time. Starfish are usually peachy in color, but I went with red because I want to use as many different colors as possible. Oh no, more seaweed. I totally forgot about this area because it's so well camouflaged. It's also really hard to get a grasp of the pattern here, and it took me a while to figure out if these were seaweed to begin with. They're also curvier than the other seaweed I just painted, which is completely throwing me off. They actually look like snakes, but they don't have facial features, so I guess they're just random floating seaweed. You can see why I'm totally sick of green. There's just too much green in nature. I'm just going around adding extra details here and there. I love doing the treasure chest. I want to make that gold pop even more by using metallic gold paint. Adding the fine lines on the treasure chest really make it look legit. This is making me want to rewatch the entire Pirates of the Caribbean series again. Here are the sea urchins, which look absolutely terrifying in real life. Whenever I see them, I have the urge to touch them, yet run away at the same time. It's time for, you guessed it, dots. I use this technique time and time again because it's such an easy way to add details. For the ship wheel, I'm using gold again. This shipwreck is really intense. We have all kinds of stuff laid out everywhere. Up here is a beautiful sunny beach, and I'm making the clouds fluffy by moving the brush in a circular motion. Back to the seaweed. To be consistent with the others, I'm adding the dark green again. These really do look like salad fingers. If you don't know who that is, I recommend you watch it on YouTube, but be warned, it will give you nightmares. Now for the fishies. I'm improvising a bit here because the fish outlines aren't very clear. I'm using more vibrant colors here, starting with orange, which is my natural go-to for fish. I don't know why, maybe it's a goldfish subconscious thing, but a fish just needs to be orange. Speaking of goldfish, I've been thinking about how nice it would be to have a fish tank, but something about seeing animals in captivity makes me sad. Fish are one of the most disrespected animals on Earth, and that has to stop. Eat them, sure, but don't torture them in a tank. Let's move on before I get preachy. For the coral, I'm adding yellow dots. When we were kids, my favorite color was pink, and it still is, but I didn't want pink to be my sister's favorite color too, so I forced her to like yellow. When we watched Power Rangers, I told her I was pink and she had to be yellow, no questions asked. I think her favorite color was yellow for years before she realized she didn't like it at all. That's just one of my joys being the older sister. These little seahorses are so cute. I just remembered that male seahorses give birth. Can't forget about the boat we just removed, and I'm just embellishing it with gold. It's not part of the Shipwreck, it's actually a magical boat, and it's somehow totally immune to water damage. The throne has to be gold, of course. I just love this throne because it already looks so pretty, and the gold paint will make it even better. Time for more dots, this time for the many, many, many bubbles under the sea. One thing to keep in mind is I want these dots to look like bubbles and not random dots all over the place. What I'm doing is laying down the dots in a pattern and clumping groups of them together to make it look like bubbles are floating to the surface. I usually lay them out in sets of 3, but sometimes I do 4 because I like to live life dangerously. Now you can really see the difference between the dots for the coral and the dots for the bubbles. The bubbles have a lot more movement. It's glitter time! I'm going to be using this pre-made glitter Mod Podge, which has been my constant go-to. It's just so easy to use and the glitter is super sparkly. I tried mixing my own glitter earlier, but surprisingly, I didn't have the right glitter and it turned out muddy. I guess I need to update my glitter inventory. In my Butterfly Forest repaint, I used the same Mod Podge glitter for the pond, and it turned out amazing. With this one, I'm going to cover the entire thing in glitter. After all, I'm trying to match the Mermaid Adventure Storybook as best as I can. Although the glitter here is chunky, it's one of those Bob Ross happy accidents because they look like sparkly bubbles. I'm tapping the brush rather than gliding it so I can really build up that glitter. I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to cover this entire thing in glitter. For the exterior, I'm just going to decorate the seashell. I'm not quite ready to make the leap of painting the entire exterior. I also don't plan on buying duplicates of these, so I have to be careful not to go overboard with the exterior. And finally, the varnish to seal all my hard work. This time I'm using glossy varnish on everything. This is actually the first time in my repaint that I'm using glossy varnish for the entire thing. I just think it's more appropriate because it gives it a wet look, which is what the ocean is. The ocean is wet. Glossy varnish also makes glitter pop, and if there's anything I've learned as a designer, it's to make everything pop. I have to be careful during this phase because there are moving elements to this compact, and I don't want to accidentally seal them shut. Once this dries, we're done.
especially proud of this repaint because painting underwater scenes is kind of tricky. So which one should I do next? Should I do another Polly Pocket, another Hidden Hideout, Tiny Pocket World, one of the bigger compacts? Or should I do something outside of Polly Pocket like the Pretty Cure Little House, which badly need repaints? Thank you for watching this repaint. These are always fun to do, and I'll see you on the next one.